Hi, good morning, everybody. We are again back to give you some informations about the case studies which we are going. But before that, I would like to thank each one of you to, you know, for helping me to come back to you after in this 4 years of business. After working for 32 years in different organizations and working with them in the individual categories and the individual domains, I took the leap in the year 2020, in the same month, August, to start this noble profession of coaching business people, entrepreneurs. So we thought of sitting on the other side of the table and see what they are facing while they are actually conducting their business. Every businessman, every entrepreneur has started a business with a particular vision. Now, what happens while working through the organization, while working through the business, they sometimes lose the actual vision and fade away from the main points. Here comes where we are working into. हम सारे बिजनेसमैन को ये हेल्प करना चाहता है टू रिमाइंड देम, उसको याद दिलाने के लिए कि बिजनेस का एक विजन है और विजन के साथ चलना ही एक्चुअली राइट प्रोसेस है। क्योंकि अगर विजन डिफ्लेक्ट हो जाता है तो गोल तक पहुंचने के लिए बहुत ज्यादा ही टाइम लग जाता है। सो प्रोसेस को पकड़ के रखने के लिए साथ में किसी को चाहिए जो हेल्प करता है कि हाँ, this business has got a vision and it has to work in this particular manner. And that is why it is known as business coaching. So business coaching is basically a process of helping an entrepreneur, अब जैसे बिजनेस लोग हैं जो रोज एक ही चीज बार बार करते हैं, बट कभी कभी करने का टाइम पे प्रोसेस डिफ्लेक्ट हो जाता है। प्रोसेस डिफ्लेक्ट होने से वहां से we actually move away from our actual goal, so the time taken is much higher. That is where the problem starts. So we are here for the last 4 years talking to different business people, talking to different entrepreneurs who are coming with different ideas, excellent ideas, how to conduct their business, and we join with them hand to hand and help them to achieve what they want. So this in this 4 years, बहुत सारी बिजनेसमैन के साथ बात किया, बहुत सारी वेबिनार्स किया, बहुत लोगों के साथ बात करके ये समझ में आया कि हर बिजनेसमैन आगे बढ़ना चाहता है, लेकिन उसमें कोई बिजनेसमैन आगे बढ़ता है, बाकी लोग स्ट्रगल करते हैं। जो लोग स्ट्रगल करते हैं इसका मतलब ये नहीं है कि वो बिजनेस नहीं करते, वो भी बिजनेस करते हैं। और जो लोग अपना मकाम में पहुंचे हैं वो भी बिजनेस करके ही पहुंचे हैं। सो व्हाट इज द डिफरेंस बिटवीन जो लोग पहुंचे नहीं है और जो लोग पहुंचना चाहता है और जो लोग पहुंच गया ऑलरेडी? द डिफरेंस इज द प्रोसेस, द डिफरेंस इज द सिस्टम। एक बहुत फेवरेट वर्ड है, द वर्ड इज सोफा। ये सोफा लेके हम लोग बहुत डिस्कस किया इसके पहले, डिफरेंट फोरम्स में डिस्कस किया इसके पहले, और एक बार डिस्कस करता हूं आज, so that this particular word remains in your mind forever. Sofa is a furniture which is used in your office. आपका घर में भी है, जहां पे हम लोग बैठने से हम लोग को बहुत अच्छे लगते हैं। लेकिन हम लोग यही सोचते हैं कि सोफा का मैट्रेस कितना अच्छे है, सोफा का हैंडल कितना अच्छे है, सोफा का बैक रेस्ट कितना अच्छे है और कितना आराम हमको मिलता है। बट ये नहीं सोचता है कि जो सोफा है वो चारों लेग का ऊपर खड़ा है। अगर चारों लेग कोई भी कारण में थोड़ा बहुत डिस्टर्ब हो जाता है, बस थोड़ा बहुत घिस जाता है, तो वो एंटायर सोफा जितना भी कंफर्ट लेवल दिखाता है ऊपर में, लेकिन एक्चुअली वो एक अनकंफर्टेबल पोजीशन में आपको बैठा देता है. नाउ दिस सोफा स्टैंड्स फॉर फोर वर्ड्स: एस, ओ, एफ एंड ए. एस हो गया सिस्टम. आप जो ऑर्गेनाइजेशन चलाते हैं, जहाँ पे बहुत सारे लोग काम करते हैं, उन लोग को एक सिस्टम में बांध के रखना ही सबसे इंटरेस्टिंग बात है. एंड दैट इज द मोस्ट इंपॉर्टेंट थिंग इन अ बिजनेस, to bind the entire people, the entire group of people working for you, for your organization under a system. The next is operations. System तो बांध दिया, लेकिन सिस्टम को चलाने के लिए there should be a total process जो आपको ये operations को use करते हैं. How to operate within the system is one of the very, very important segment of that. And then finally, if comes for finance, जिसका बिना कुछ भी चीज करने के लिए बहुत तकलीफ होता है. Understanding finance, raising finance, using finance, and to see that the finance are not lost, it is not eroded away from your system, is also a very big learning. So understanding the finance, understanding the cash flow when it is required, and how to define the process of getting the finance in a particular time, सबसे बड़ा important चीज है. Now, when we got systems, we got operations, we got finance. Now, what we need? ये तीनों चीज रहने से भी आपका बिजनेस में तकलीफ आ सकता है. So what you need is basically actions. So A stands for action. जब तक आप एक्शन नहीं लेंगे, तब तक कोई भी सिस्टम, ऑपरेटिंग प्रोसीड्योर, फिनेंस प्रॉपरली यूटिलाइज नहीं होगा. और अगर प्रॉपरली यूटिलाइज नहीं होता है तो उसका रिजल्ट भी नहीं मिलता है. सो सोफा इज वन ऑफ द मोस्ट इंपॉर्टेंट, I will say, the signboard of your organization. You have to tell this thing to yourself every time. Whenever you feel like, write this down in your diary, put it up in your dashboard, in your wall. Discuss this with your team, how to maintain the sofa and make it comfortable. Because that only gives success. So anyway, I was very, very, emotional at one point of time when I crossed this 4 years, when I traveled these 4 years with lot of struggles, followed by successes, a lot of friends who helped me out to reach where I am today, my partners, my clients who are actually my partners, who have kept their belief constantly on my process, and I'm working with them for so long. Some people have left me, probably because I was not able to see through their needs, but there are a lot of people who are with me, and we are trying to move forward. A lot of my clients has crossed from their double-figure turnovers to the three-figure turnovers. Few clients have been able to understand their team and make them work for the organizations, because we developed a system called ownership. That is the most important thing. Today's business does not run on an employment basis. Today's business runs on an ownership basis. If your team owns the responsibility of your company, understands the vision, जहां पे आप पहुंच सकना चाहते हैं, that is the area where you will actually see people are growing. And If people starts growing within your organization, then of course the organization, which is you, will grow. So that is the actual vision of our organization by the name of Atkonnectt Redefining Businesses. We come back to you every Wednesday सुबह 10 बजे जब आप लोग ऑफिस के लिए जाते हैं, and we are sure definitely many of you see the recording of this session, or many of you may be watching this session while you are traveling. Depends upon on what situations you are traveling. But we make sure that we come back here every Wednesday for you and only. This day I have chosen to actually thank all of you, because अगर आप लोग सब नहीं रहते तो शायद मैंने ये जगह में पहुंच नहीं पाते. I will not say I have reached the highest level of my career in business coaching, but I can definitely say I have reached a place where I can see the sky much more clearer than what I was seeing before. So thank you from the bottom of my heart for helping me to be here where I am today. Dhanyavad. Now today, on this occasion, I would like to share with you one of my best experiences I had with one of my client in some part of Bihar. And on that time, it was a completely online sessions, and it was a challenge because I started my career in 2020 when the famous Corona visited us. And that is the time when I chose that, to shift my career, shift my domain from, being working within organizations and working for my own organizations. So what happened? That is most important. How that succession followed from the owner of the organization to his sibling, that was more important. So I will not name the place, I will not name the organization, because I have discussed with the organizations and they say that you can always tell my story, but our name should not come into it. So I keep a full respect to that observation. And so I will just brief you about what has happened. So the organization is all about a fertilizer, supplying fertilizer to the industrial, industrial users. And the business is all about, at that point of time, it was around 18 to 19 years old. And the person who has started this business, he is only controlling this business with people in his business. And those people who are working in that business are also there, if I remember correctly, more than 10 years. And it was a real fun in that business. Now, the owner's son was in Finland doing his business classes, doing his Master of Business classes. And because of the Corona, he came back to India. And when he was spending his time with his family, with his father, with his mother, his father thought that why not utilize his wisdom, what he has taken out, came back from Finland, and make him work something so that he doesn't sit idle, which was a very golden idea. And that's where that particular gentleman, the owner of the organization, got in touch with me. So I also thought it was a golden idea. But after 2 to 3 months, when both father and son duo, जब एक साथ काम करने लगा, then the most inevitable part came into the surface, the conflict of the two generations. Because the business was running well, but when the son came back, he came back with the different ideas. He wants to bring in a lot of reforms. When he started analyzing the people who are present in this organization, he came into a decision that some of the people are really not worth for this position. And that's where the conflict started. This conflict went to a particular level where the family decided that let's give the son a different business, because the father was not be able to diverge from his thought process and give his son a chance to redefine that business. So it was a real challenge. It was a real challenge for me because I was also going through that phase, and I was trying to understand how to make both the generations working together. That means how to pass the baton from the father to the son, because the son requires an identity. So I had a very close meetings, of course, over the Zoom with the father and with the son separately for at least 2 months, and was able to make the son understand that this business only can be diversified into different domains without even disturbing the original format of the business. So when we agreed upon that, we agreed upon a particular domain called domestic uses. The fertilizers can move into the domestics through different online process, whereas the father will take care of the industrial business, which was already there, currently moving on. So we were able to continue this discussion for a pretty long time. And along with the help of the different elder members of the family, I was able to make them understand that passing on the baton is not giving away. It is actually building up. अपना रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी किसी को शेयर करना ये मतलब नहीं है कि मैंने छोड़ दिया. अपना रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी किसी के साथ शेयर करना मतलब हमने नया जनरेशन को साथ में लेके उसको बढ़ाने की कोशिश कर रहे हैं. It is not dividing the strength, it is actually multiplying the strength. So when we went back to the father, we told him, and we were successful in making him understand that till this time, for the last 18 years, the entire family was depending on one business. So whatever the family expenses, जो भी खर्चे हैं, जो भी जरूरत है family का, एक ही business उसको supply करते हैं. Then why not we take up another business in the same premises, under the same name, keeping that 19 years legacy in place, and develop a new vertical, which will bring in new revenues for the family. This was the actual point where the watch clicked. There is a word in Hindi which is called that sui hila. इतना टाइम से जब 3 महीना 4 महीने से हम लोग कोशिश कर रहे थे, लेकिन सुई नहीं हिला. ये एक ही वर्ड में सुई हिला. जब सुई हिला, so then the family understood that in the current situations, let us develop another domain in the business, and that is the domestic market, जो कभी हमने कोशिश ही नहीं किया, क्योंकि हमने सोचा कि जरूरत नहीं है, because वो हमने कौन करेगा ये चीज. So now the son is ready, let him handle it. So during those days, we started thinking of packaging, we started thinking of talking to Amazon, we started thinking of putting up a website, putting up an online presence, and do a little bit exercise which can be done within the organizations. What is that exercise? That exercise was spreading the message for the people who have created garden in their balconies on their terraces, that we will reach you the fertilizer. You don't have to come to the market to buy the fertilizer. And this is the legacy of the company, where we are actually, selling in this business for the last 18 years, 19 years, and now we are approaching towards the domestic market. We are coming to you and we will hand over your requirements so that the plants, the life, the flowers in your garden, in your terrace garden, in your balcony garden, will be always fresh. We continuously started this hammering of the message to the different WhatsApp groups. And then finally, I remember that day, finally it was 3rd of October in 2022, the first order came from a domestic requirement. आया, नया डोमेन का, नया कोशिश का रिजल्ट आया. The belief was reinstated inside the business that yes, we can start another domain and we can also arrange revenue from that, which will help the organization to grow together. आज बहुत अच्छे लगते हैं क्योंकि that organization is that product name, they have named it differently. When कभी-कभी हम लोग बात कर लेते हैं, हम लोग डिस्कस करते हैं कि how to go ahead, and today they are not only supplying fertilizer, they are also supplying garden equipments. Gardening के जो equipments लगता है, छोटा सा Caesar, but the soil pull-out triggers and all those things, they have started supplying to the different domestic users. So that was, I will say, one of my most celebrated success, to make both the generations come at one place. And today, the father of the organization hardly goes into the office to see what is happening. The person who was not liked by the son has become वो लड़के के सबसे बड़ा दोस्त बन गया. So he took over that business of the industrial supply, and the son of the family runs the domestic market, and they are happy. So my suggestion to you entrepreneurs and the business people, and also to the people who are starting their businesses or who have already started their businesses, और आपको एक फीलिंग आया कि ये बिजनेस को और एक दो स्टेप आगे लेके जाना है, उन लोग के लिए ये छोटा सा एडवाइस है मेरा कि डोंट होल्ड द बैटन tightly in your hand. Allow your siblings, allow your successor to do some mistakes so that they understand the mistake and they understand what they have done, and they can actually overcome it, and then run along with you for some time, and then finally you can slow down and allow this person to go ahead. While I try to pass on this message to the current entrepreneurs, I also want to pass on this message to the young generation of our entrepreneurs and our business people who wants to create another business and not join the family business, or who wants to create another domain in the same business. I would earnestly request you people to work in your family business for at least 3 years in different department. सारी डिपार्टमेंट में आप पहले एम्प्लॉय का हिसाब से काम कीजिए। काम करने से आपको पता चल जाएगा कि टेबल का उस पार what are the areas of concern, what are the areas of development, and what is your wish list. बहुत सारी मिस्टेक्स, बहुत सारी गलतियां होता है जब हम लोग एक पुराना लेगेसी को कंप्लीटली चेंज करना चाहते हैं. There are certain businesses which are lost because of the indifferences within the family. But believe me, when you are joining, I'm talking to those people who are the young generations of the current business people, or the generations which are trying to bring in the new generation into their business, but still try to hold on what they were doing. I would request them to let loose some of your, some of your processes and understand what is the new generation looking for. That will give them a hand. But yes, hold them, stop them, rectify them, make them understand why it is not really pertinent to the current business situation. Once they understand that, then this relay race of business, of family businesses, a relay race of the family businesses will reach to its optimum. मैं ये आपको वादा करता हूँ. Understanding is the only factor. Believing is the second factor. Respecting is the third factor. And following is the fourth factor. चारों फैक्टर को साथ में लेके आपका बिजनेस का सक्सेस प्लान, the successor plan, which will bring a success plan to its final destination. Thank you so much. बहुत अच्छे थे ये महीना 2020 August. I came into this profession trying to do something differently, not only telling people what to do, but also helping the entrepreneur by standing with them on the side and helping them to overcome their shortfalls so that they are not lonely. I don't believe only in giving advices what to do and what not to do. I believe in helping them to implement that what they should do, because that only will bring. Because I meet a lot of people who have gone through different levels of inductions, different level of webinars, different level of plans, but ultimately they come back and say ki, everything is okay. I know what I'm supposed to do. It's really good to hear, but I am not able to do it. So then I decided that when they're not able to do it, that means my entire effort of telling them what to do remains unsuccessful. So whatever I tell, I should also help them to do it. So anywhere, whenever you feel, जब भी आपको लगता है that you want to discuss something regarding your succession plan, regarding your process plan, regarding your systems plan, regarding putting the entire organizations under a certain process where it can run without you. Mr. Brad Sugar is the owner of Action Coach, the community where I belong to, has really developed this idea that a successful business is that business which can actually run without you. So I repeat the same thing. Whenever you feel, please come back. We will jointly work together and help you to make your business run smoothly, even if you're not there, and you will find a proper successor, whether it be within your family, whether it can be coming out from your employee level, or it has to come from an outside, depending upon the situation. Everything is right. And everything is on tested mode. You test it, you do it, you measure it, you again do it, and then again test it, And then finally you decide, you come to a decision that, okay, this is right. But remember, right is only for a time being. One right thing is not right forever. The right thing is a very temporary thing. जो सही है वो आज सही है, कल सही रहेगा. But when the market changes, the requirement changes, जब सब कुछ चेंज होता है तो राइट का डेफिनेशन भी चेंज होता है, नया सही रास्ता ढूंढना पड़ता है. With this, I sign off from this meeting, and we'll meet you again on next Wednesday with a very interesting session. We'll declare it within 1 or 2 days and come back to you next Wednesday, 10 a.m. again. Thank you so much.